Hello there, everybody. Meteorologist Noah Bergen here. We are tracking some serious cold heading into New Year's Eve this year. Thanks for joining us here on our Facebook, YouTube, and Fox local stream. Hope you've had a great Christmas and a great weekend. We've got much to discuss for the next few days. So come on in, stay a while, stay a few minutes. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great Christmas and looking ahead to New Year's. We've got a lot of cold coming in for this year. So I'm going to give this a second to get out on our Facebook and on our YouTube. That's where you can leave us comments. And also, if you're watching on our Fox local platform, that's where we're going to dive much more into the cold here for the next couple of days. So I hope you had a good holiday. We've got the final of the three for New Year's coming up this year. And it does look like it's going to be one of the colder New Year's we've had in a while for the eve. If you've got plans outside, it's definitely going to be cold. Now, if you've traveled the last few days, I hope you had a good travel because I traveled back last night from Connecticut, and wow, what a mess it was flying, especially into Orlando. I mean, the baggage claim, we waited over an hour for bags. Some flights were almost 2 hours. So definitely, if you're flying this week, especially into Florida, this is always the case. It's not. We always each year are like, it's the biggest travel. Holidays are always hard to travel, especially if you're checking bags. So just good luck to your traveling if you're flying this week for New Year's or coming back home from Christmas. But definitely pack your patience is my advice from having just done it, especially with now just one train. One tram working at MCL. All right, so the cold is the headline this week. A big dip. It's only 2 days though. Tuesday and Wednesday. We're looking at the drop in the jet stream coming in. Now, I want to take this full screen because I want to show you a little bit why this is happening. So essentially, what goes on here is that the atmosphere in the jet stream works in ridges and troughs. You get warm that rises in one part of the jet stream, and then on the other side, you get cold that sinks. I want you to think about this like stepping on a trampoline. If you step down over here, this side goes up. It's just like that. The atmosphere is a fluid, and that's how the jet stream works. We've got a huge push of cold this way, and in response, the western U.S. is going to get very warm over the next 2 days. But this will be probably one of the colder New Year's as we've had in a hot minute. And I do think it's going to be pretty notable. I think this may catch some people off guard with how cold it's going to be. So let me pull up the temperatures here and show these to you. So I hope you had a great week and a great weekend. I think Wednesday morning will be the coldest wind chill, definitely, but the strongest wind will be Tuesday morning. So we're talking about this front coming in tonight, and the front will come in tonight, and then the cold filters in tomorrow. But it looks like the winds on Tuesday will be really gusty. So if you're here visiting or you have the day off and you're going to, let's say, the theme parks tomorrow, it's going to be very windy. But the core of the cold is specifically for New Year's Eve, definitely, the way it looks right now. So let me dial in the temperatures here, and bear with me 1 second. I just got to get this corrected. It was off slightly. So here's 6:30 a.m. So let me show you the lows. So these are the lows for Wednesday morning. And it's the Wednesday morning time where we'll have the coldest temperatures of this spell. So you can see those right here. We've got temperatures 37 in Orlando, 31 in Ocala. So we've got a freeze watch that will be upgraded to a freeze warning for places like Marion County. So this is the statewide temperatures, 39 in Tampa, 37 in Orlando, 31 in Ocala, freezing in Tallahassee, Pensacola, 41 in Melbourne. So that's daybreak Wednesday morning. Very, very cold. Now, in terms of the wind chill, this is the wind chill. Yeah, take a look at this, and I'll put this full screen so you can see it. So this is Wednesday morning. For us in Florida, this is very, very cold. 26 in Orlando, 29 in Tampa, 22 in Ocala, 38 in West Palm, even almost into the 30s down in Miami. 40 is what it'll feel like in Miami, 31 in Fort Myers, 21 in Tallahassee and Jacksonville, 21 in Pensacola. How about that, my friends? How do you feel about that? Put in the comments. Let me pull up some of your comments here. How do you feel about that? Because it's going to be freezing. Hello, Michelle. Hello, William. How are you? Are we going to have the opportunity to see some manatees in the Crystal River? Possible, I guess. How was your weekend, William? It was great. It was celebrating my best friend's wedding. It was very, very nice. Thank you for sharing the forecast. Hope everybody stays safe and warm, says Sonia Mills on YouTube. Hello, Manuel. Ochner Manuel on YouTube. Hello, how are you? Hello, Sarah. Thanks for checking in. So if you have a question or a comment or a concern, please put it in the feed. I'd love to hear from you. So we do have a couple of good comments, I think, that represent how this feels to everybody here. Very good. Let me pull them up here. So KC Levy says, yeah, I think that's a pretty good descriptor. But you know, this is why we live in Florida, right? Because if you hate the cold, the good news is it only really lasts for very short, and then it's gone. So tonight we're looking at the front coming in. Let me take you to the radar. Here is the actual front. This is the cold front right here. Boom. So behind this line, the winds are strongly from the northwest, and the temperatures and the humidity plummet. Out ahead of it, we've got warm air coming from the south, and it's actually near 80 right now. The winds are like this coming from the south, and we've got a little thin line of showers that'll work its way down across the state for the remainder of this afternoon and this evening. We do have the Cheez-It Bowl on Wednesday. That will be one of the cooler Cheez-It Bowls in Florida and Orlando we've had in recent memory. But here's this line of showers. Now this is the composite radar. So here's the higher res radar. And you can notice there's not a lot. Now the reason why, let me explain this to you here. So the reason why, see the radar from Melbourne? Check this out. This is cool. So this is the radar from Melbourne. Now the radar from Melbourne from these showers is about 154 miles away. So the radar beam, it goes up like this. When it's on a tower, and it goes up, it rotates around. So the further away you get, the higher the beam is hitting the weather in the sky. So the beam up here is probably hitting these clouds at, I'm just guessing, I'd have to look, 15 to 20,000 feet. Now the radar in Jacksonville, hitting these showers a lot lower. So the radar from Melbourne is kind of misleading, as you would look at this and you'd say, oh, there's no rain. But you got to get a radar closer to it to scan lower in the sky, because these are very narrow showers and clouds. They don't extend up very tall in the atmosphere. And notice from Jacksonville, yeah, you can see right there, a little bit of shower activity now in Gainesville and Ocala, and this is working its way south, and this will continue to come south through the evening tonight. And you can see on the high-res satellite, it's completely sunny in places like Orlando, the Space Coast, but it's going to quickly get cloudy here as we've got this front that is working its way east, and behind it, the cold comes in very, very quick. In fact, I think on the Ocala camera, we would probably see this very good. So let's take a look at some cameras. If you have a comment or a question, please put it in the feed. So here is the Ocala camera, and you can see, yeah, cloudy and showery. Does not look like that in Orlando. In fact, here is the Evermore camera from the Evermore Resort, and it's still a beautiful day. They're on the lake there, that man-made lake at the resort. They're kayaking, and the people at the resorts have no idea it's about to get cold. But it is. So again, Orlando, Ocala. Orlando, Ocala, quite a difference. And you even go back towards the beach, and at least this camera faces the other direction, so you really wouldn't see it very well. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. But again, it's about to get gusty and showery. So heads up, we put a track on these showers for you here. So these showers, I'll show you how we do this here, how I do it. So we're just going to do this really rough because we're live on the air here. So in the past 30 minutes, the leading edge of these showers moved about, we'll do this at 25 miles an hour. That seems about right to me. So here is the showers. And let's put a track on this. We'll do 25, clock time, and let's track them. So the leading edge of the showers into the villages, probably about 4:30. Into the Lake Mary area, probably just after 6. Leading edge of the showers towards Daytona Beach, probably 6:15, 6:30-ish. Places like Clearmont, leading edge of these showers. Oh, sorry, hit the wrong button. Leading edge of these showers. So a few sprinkles and showers about 5:30. Ocala imminently in the next half hour. Then places like Palm Coast. Looking at these sprinkles coming in, yeah, less than 20 minutes. But if you're all the way towards Brevard County, by the time these showers get to you, it's going to be closer to 8 or 9 o'clock. And these showers will zip on south through the evening. So again, beautiful ahead of the front, but it's cloudy and showery behind it. So we do have this storm team alert out for Wednesday. Again, Wednesday morning is going to be the coldest temps. 37 or so in Orlando. This might even trend down lower. I've got to finish looking at the forecast data to fully get this in tune as accurate as we can for the evening news tonight. So I may adjust this after our stream here slightly based on some new data, but probably mid-30s in Orlando. That's out the door Wednesday morning. And again, if you're just joining us, the wind chill, and I'll show you zoomed into our area coming up in a few minutes, down into the 20s. But it's just one day of that. Just one day of that level cold. So let me show you just while I'm in my show, here's the air travel delays across the country. If you are flying tonight or tomorrow, you can see there are a lot of delays in the Great Lakes and in the Northeast. In fact, D.C., Dulles is at a ground stop, so that's going to snarl traffic. Miami, interestingly, has moderate delays. Detroit does because of all the lake effect snow. So if you're traveling tonight, definitely take note of that. But most of our local area airports are actually surprisingly pretty much okay. So let's take a look at the temperatures right now, as this also tells the story. It's in the 80s in the Space Coast and near 80 in Orlando, but it's 57 in Pensacola. So there's some cold that is not far away, and you guessed it, it's coming here. And we can also see this by looking at the dew points and the humidity. The dew point's 21 in Pensacola. That is very, 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 very dry air. For about 2 days, we'll get that Chicago level of chapstick dry air into Florida for New Year's Eve and also for New Year's Day. And then temperatures and the humidity will start to come back pretty fast for the weekend. But here's the temperatures across the southeast right now. And notice, you can clearly see the cold coming in. We go from 78 in Orlando to 39 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 9 in Lexington, 11 in Chicago, 11 in Pittsburgh. So there is some serious, serious cold coming on in here for tonight and heading into tomorrow. For not just us, but for really a big part of the United States. So we pull up the model temperatures here. Let me pull these up. Give me 1 second. So let me put myself back on camera as I want to get this for you here the best I can. So if you have a comment, put it in the feed. So in terms of when the cold ends, it ends Thursday. So the cold comes in tonight. You'll notice it tomorrow. I'll show you that in a second. You'll need a jacket. The coldest temp and the wind chill is Wednesday morning. For New Year's Eve plans, it's going to be feeling like a 30. So if you have dinner plans, a dinner reservation, you're going out, partying, going to a friend's or family's house, going on to iDrive or the theme parks, you will need to dress warmer than you probably even think because the wind, especially in Florida, always makes it feel way colder than it actually is. So a hat, a long sleeve, a sweatshirt, jeans, probably going to be what you'll be grabbing for. And if you try to wear shorts, you'll probably be going back to change if you're going to be out and about for New Year's Eve night. So hopefully that helps you plan the holiday for this year. So let me pull up the temps. Give me a hot second. I've got to find them here. I had them and then somehow I lost them. I've got them here for you, I promise. Let me pull up the temps here. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. What did you do for Christmas? Let me know what you did for Christmas. Would love to hear what your plans involved and what they did. I tell you what, we're just gonna do. I'm gonna do this. So let's do. Here's the wind chills. And we'll start them right now, and we'll take you through Wednesday morning. So here you go. So not that far off. So here's the feels like reading. So I want you to notice as we go forward. Pull this back up here. Here we go. Here we go. So here we are. This is just the feels like temp. I can change this. In fact, we'll do this live for you here. We'll just change this for the sake of this stream to the potential or forecasted feels like temps. There we go. So here we go. So notice by 8 o'clock we go from near 80 to 65. And then look what happens into tomorrow morning. It plummets. Yeah, look at this. So tomorrow morning, it's going to feel like 36 in Orlando, 32 in Ocala, and right now it's near 80. So in terms of when does this cold come in, it comes in tonight. And when you step out the door in the morning, you'll need a jacket. Definitely big time. Now the winds are the strongest tomorrow. The speed of the wind is highest for tomorrow, tomorrow being Tuesday. The winds will still be gusty for New Year's Eve, but less so for our area. And a wind chill of 19 in Pensacola. And during the day tomorrow, here's lunch plans. It still only feels like 50 or so in Orlando. 48 in Ocala in the middle of the day. So for Florida standards, this is real level chill. Going into Tuesday night, into Wednesday morning, there comes the big cold. And again, we're going to feel like the 20s for the I-4 corridor in north. Let me take this out a little bit further, and we'll go into New Year's Eve. So here we go. Here's New Year's Eve morning. Let me bring you back to this hour by hour. So here's the 20s, New Year's Eve morning. New Year's Eve day, it maybe gets to like low 50s in Orlando. That's it. So here's the evening. So if you have a dinner plan, here's 7 o'clock Wednesday. We're feeling like the 40s. If you're going to be out late, by 10 o'clock, it's feeling like the 30s in Orlando. 40s in Tampa, Melbourne, 30s, Ocala, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and low 50s, West Palm, Miami. And here's when the ball drops at midnight, 30s. So definitely, if you've got plans to be out New Year's Eve night, you're going to want to dress warm. That is the idea here. So in terms of rain, it's really just this chance of rain that we've got coming in for tomorrow. In fact, let me take you out with the European model here. I'll show you. Bring this over here. So here's the Euro model. So there's the showers for tonight. So there they go. There goes the showers. Boop, see you later. See the little thin line of green. This right here is 10 o'clock tonight. Some showers and then gone. Then tomorrow's dry. Here's Thursday dry. Friday dry. Saturday dry. And then Sunday... Saturday night, even maybe a few thunderstorms. Could they be severe? Doesn't look like there's a lot of energy here. Look at the wind. I guess there could be some thunderstorms Saturday night or Sunday. You'll see. So this is the weekend. So this is the next chance of rain. Now, in terms of rain amount, it's not a lot, quarter inch. So that's the next chance of rain is Saturday night to Sunday. And then here's next week. There'll be another chance of rain January 6th or so. Then maybe a bigger system towards the middle of January with some more thunderstormy activity. So the point is we will look for that. Now let me show you the long-range temperatures here, because there's another cold front looming. And I'll pull this up full screen so you can see it. So this is the European model for temps. And I want you to notice, so that the big numbers by the yellow is the highs and the blue is the lows. So I want you to notice we go from 77 today to 56 or so. That's on New Year's Eve. So this 56 here, this is New Year's Eve. Right here, this is New Year's Eve. Then by the weekend, we're back to 76. And then next week, we have another front that comes in. We could do this exact thing again. Notice this 55 over here. This 55 is on January 10th. So we're cold for New Year's. We're warm for the weekend. And then the end of next week, there's another cold front, then warm, then cold. So this seesaw back and forth of warm and cold and warm and cold is going to really be what we're talking about here for a little while. But again, watch out for some sprinkles. Watch out for some showers tonight. We've got them coming in right now. In fact, you can see them on our Ocala camera where it is actually showering quite decent. Pull up your comments one more time. Hello, Alice. Appreciate you. Happy to be back. Love Orlando. No, it's a struggle, but we're just going to have to deal with it. Mo, that is the right attitude. Save the iguanas, KC. Definitely save the iguanas. We had dense fog this morning down in the South Florida. There was fog up here, too, in Volusia County this morning. William, if you hear people in the background, that's probably Marlisa and our news crew getting ready for the 407. They'll be on the 407 here on Fox Local coming up in a few minutes. So the cold is the headline. We've got much more to talk about. I will get much more made for you coming up on the news at 5 and for the news at 6, 8, 10, and 11. But a couple of things. New Year's Eve is going to be cold. That storm team alert is active for New Year's Eve. We have that because it's going to be feeling frigid for Florida standards. So storm team alerts get issued when we feel there is a significant or notable threat to you from the weather. This is not a life-threatening threat, but it's something that will impact everybody. Definitely need to be prepared for it. If you have plants, flowers, vegetation, and you're north of Orlando Wednesday morning, definitely want to protect, cover over your plants for Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. And now, when the temperatures come in for the new year, still going to be cold. Now, the interesting thing about New Year's Eve is that we're going to be close to the coldest New Year's Eve temperature, or New Year's Day, I should say, from back in 1898. The average low is 50. We'll actually be close to that for the afternoon high this year on New Year's Day. So have a great rest of your day. I'll see you coming up with much more on the News Edge at 5, 6, 8, 10, and 11 tonight. Until then, hope you have a great rest of your day. And Marlisa Goldsmith's got you coming up here on Fox Local with the 407 coming at you here in just a few minutes at 4 o'clock. So watch for that, and I'll see you with much more on the weather tonight on Fox 35. Have a great night.